How's it going? My name's Jorge. That is my 1984 Toyota Celica. And I'm gonna save it. That's right. Me, just a normal dude, is going to build a car. Kind of felt tired. Seeing a lot of people just building cool cars, and I'm just kind of sitting on my toilet or just laying in bed or whatever, watching them do it. So I may as well do what they do and see what happens. So without further ado, I should probably show you around it. Alright, what do we have here? So yeah, like I said, 1984 Celica GT. I've had this thing for about 5.5 years. It's been a fun ride over that entire time, to be honest. It's been some of the most fun I've had ever. But as you heard in the intro to this, it's a little unwell. Did spin a bearing, I think it spun a bearing. It's knocking kind of like a diesel, but we'll get to that shortly. As you can see, it is pretty rusty. I do live in Canada, so that's definitely not a surprise. Yeah, look at this. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, it's not great. It was a little better when I first got it, but yeah, it's probably like the worst of it. But the good thing is this is a fender. Just take that off, put a new one on. Speaking of which, there it is. Obviously, it still has some surface rust, but it's not like that one full of holes or anything, so definitely repairable. And it's also black, so I can just kind of do whatever I want and then paint it blue again. So starting at the front here, very 80s wedge kind of sports car thing styling. Pop-up headlights that do work. I will show you those now. I'll insert something in now. Yep, there you go. Up, down, there we go. It's a 5-speed. I don't know if you can see that. I'll show you in the interior, it's fine. Sunroof that does work. Faded paint that kind of looks like some racing stripes. Don't know what this thing was gonna be built into before I owned it. It was owned by someone who wanted to save it as well, but he, and I quote, said, "I have too many Trans Ams to work on." I think he said he had like 10, which is like insane. But okay, I mean, I kind of get it though. Trans Ams are cool, and I feel like have a bit of a hoarding tendency, which is great. But anyways, pop-up headlights. Super wheels. I got them with the car. I have the original wheels back there somewhere. So this is a 3rd generation Celica. This is the last Celica that was made as a rear-wheel drive. After this, starting with the 4th generation, they went with front-wheel drive. pretty big deal. So yeah, there we go. I don't know if you can see that, probably not, but yep, you can see it there. There is, kind of see it at least. There is a solid axle back there, which, funny enough, is similar to the AE86, which is pretty awesome. That will help a lot with the mods that I want to do to this car, which we'll talk about at the end of this video. So coming to the back here, hatchback, roof spoiler, which is really cool, really awesome. Bunch of space back here, can't really see it, too much reflection, and more rust, which is great. And there is more rust on the other side of this hatch, which is also great. However, the good thing about this side, at least, is that the rust isn't too bad. This is probably the worst of it on the outside. Again, we have to find out. We're gonna find out eventually how bad the rust is. A few spots there, but that should be easy to sand off. Yeah, it's just a thin kind of layer of corrosion. Shouldn't be the worst thing in the world to deal with. I don't know if you can see this here though. You can kind of see it. Yeah, you can kind of see it. There is... Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, there you go. You can see the hole there. Pretty big hole that I have to patch up. It's not great. I feel like this is an indication of what's to come, unfortunately. But yeah. Now coming over to the other side, this is where the fun starts, because here it's way worse. The rust is definitely way worse. As you can see, fuel door, as you can, it's normal. Like that kind of has it, but this definitely has it. It's just fuel spills and all that from 41 years of existing. Not that surprising. Fortunately, it's been victim to the spray foam thing, and yeah, the rot is not great here either. This is definitely going to be the more annoying side to deal with, although thankfully it's not higher, because that would be a lot harder to replicate, which is nice. And yeah, you can see even more spray foam down here. So this is gonna be the worst and most annoying bit to kind of fix. Yeah, look at that, it's wild. Fortunately. Moving on to this side, I already kind of touched over that earlier, but this is the fender. This looks like it's the worst of it, but again, like I said, it's a fender. You can just do you can just swap it out with another one. And like I said, I have it. There it is, ready to go on. I haven't done it. I bought that, like, I got that like 3 years ago. I've just been like too lazy to put it on. I think it's because like I'll show you like in another episode when we actually get to doing this. But like I bought this like 3 years ago, and I've just been too lazy to put it on. Paint's faded, and there's like a huge dent. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, there is a pretty big whack somewhere up there. And I don't know, it just feels like it looks kind of ugly, which is a surprise, considering that this is what's on the car now, and it looks pretty ugly, but at least it's like it matches the rest of the car. I don't know how good of a statement that is, but okay. All right, so we should probably move on to the. Oh yeah, let's look at this original Celica logo. I believe the people in the community call this a dragon. Kind of looks like a dragon, like the kind of dragon ship thing. Pretty cool. There's another one over here on the B pillar, and there's another one on the other side to match. Let's go take a look at the interior. Ooh, some deer. Some deer hanging out. They're definitely in season right now. I've been seeing them a lot over the past couple weeks. Alright, so interior. Super long door. Crank windows. Very 80s economy car. Oh, really? 80s car in general. Yeah. Manual locks. Again, 80s car. No surprise there. Now inside, the interior is actually in really good shape. Especially the back seats. Yeah, you can see that there. They're in pretty good shape. Some stains there. Driver's seat's pretty good. Passenger seat has a huge mystery stain there, which I'm going to assume was some coffee because this thing has no cup holders. Again, 80s car. As you can see, 5-speed manual. Hell yeah. Momo steering wheel that I put on. Hell yeah. I have the original wheel over here. Where is it? There it is. Right over there. Some 2-spoke kind of thing. Typical of Toyotas of this era. Now, a couple reasons why I decided to swap it. First one is that it's just really big, and I'm not tall. I'm 5'7", and I would hit my knees on the steering wheel every time I get into it with the original steering wheel. So it was weird. Like obviously, like I'm sure I'm not supposed to feel that at all. Like, but I was feeling it. So I put this wheel in. It's a little smaller. It's a 350 mil compared to the 380 that it comes with originally, and it's perfect. It looks awesome in there. It matches. It's blue. It's got some blue stitching there. It matches the rest of the very blue interior and very blue car. And I think it driving, like steering feel wise, it's really good. Like it feels a lot better. Like the steering like weights up really nice. Obviously I can't drive it anymore because of the knocking, but probably at the end of the video I'll throw some driving shots in there. I did record some driving shots for you guys. Moving on. So you got power mirrors. There you go. In the middle, which is pretty awesome. That switch is for the rear wiper. They do work, which is awesome. You can see in the middle there. A huge gear stick in the way, but there you go. I have the original radio for this. Tape deck as well, which is pretty awesome. It looks so 80s and cool in there. Like I'm very tempted to just kind of leave it there. Like we'll figure something out. Like if some cool kind of retro style radio comes around, I might throw that in there so I can actually use it. Because obviously this thing's 41 years old. Doesn't work too well anymore, unfortunately. Got the HVAC controls here. This thing has no AC. So I live in Canada, and for the most part, it's okay. It's fine. Like it's manageable. Like it's not a big deal. However, we do get pretty warm, pretty hot, not warm, hot summers here can get up to into the mid 30s in Celsius. I think 1 year it got up to like 40, which is like insanely hot for here. Especially when it can get down to negative 45 down here in the up here in the winter, which is again not great. It's a pretty huge spread in temperature, which is fantastic for anything made out of metal. And of course, that's what causes this to happen. Ooh, yeah, ooh, oof. Oh, that's gotten worse. That's great. Yeah, we're gonna have to. Yeah, we're gonna have to dive in pretty deep into this car. I was already planning on gutting the interior to find all of the rust and just kind of go at it. And it looks like we're gonna have to like fully tear this thing down, take the doors off, everything. Great. What did I get myself into? Okay, so gauge cluster, analog, really cool looking, very simple for the time. So big tack that revs to 50. The red line's 5,500 RPM, which is pretty low. I'll show you why that is in just a second. Goes up to, the speedometer goes up to 210 kilometers an hour. 236,000 kilometers. On the odometer, that's on the engine. It's on the engine. This thing has gone through one engine already. The body's probably closer to 300,000, maybe a little more than 300,000. So it's like 185,000 miles for the Americans out there. And the Brits. Can't forget about the Brits. So that's great. Have the clock in the middle. You can kind of see the panel there. We have voltmeter right here. Does work. Fuel gauge does kind of work, although a full tank is 3/4 of tank. Kind of weird, but I got used to it. Coolant temp, kind of an idiot gauge. It has a mind of its own, which is great. But this thing hasn't overheated in the time that I've had it, which is nice. And I did do coolant related stuff. This does have an aluminum radiator, which is interesting. And then oil pressure, which does work and is amazing to have. Makes me feel very, very safe. Does have cruise control, which I was told it worked by the previous owner. I never tried it. The cabling for that is still in the car, so I'm going to assume that works. That's the stock to control it, plus wipers. And then you have the light switch here as well. Yeah, again, like, get in here. So again, it's kind of like a kind of cockpit style arrangement. You can see down here, unleaded fuel only in English and French, because Canadian delivered car, gotta have both by law. I think that's all I wanted to say in here. The interior is pretty complete. Like, it's in pretty good shape. I've had people who have more experience with 80s Toyotas, period, and they've said that, hey, like, this thing's actually in really, really good shape. Like, it's pretty good interior-wise for sure. Like, it's a good survivor. And they say that it has potential to be saved. So, yeah. That makes me feel pretty happy. All right, let's go check out the engine bay. All right, so under the hood we have the generally mighty and indestructible 22RE. It's a 2.4 liter, 4-cylinder engine, single cam, 2 valve per cylinder, very, very simple engine with fuel injection, which is pretty awesome. It's not a powerhouse. I mean, it's not really meant to be. Makes about 105 horsepower thereabouts, 135 pound-feet of torque. It's around there. So a lot of mid-range torque when you drive it. It really kind of starts from about 2,000 RPM up to about 4,500 RPM and kind of runs at a cam. It's a big deal with. It's a big thing with if you try to make one of these engines go faster. Is throwing a cam in there does help a lot. Probably heard in the intro and when I was moving it that it has an enormous exhaust leak, which is great. This is the original manifold. I had a header for this. I think I still have it lying around, but it doesn't fit because I'm an idiot and bought it for the wrong car. So, bought it for the 2nd generation Celica. And this is a 3rd gen. So that's fun. Made that mistake, and you kind of have to live with it now. Does have power steering, pretty cool. And like I said, no AC. That massive cavity there is where the compressor should be. I've seen one with the compressor, dude. It's huge, bro. Like enormous. It's probably like half the length of this engine, and this engine's pretty long. It's about maybe 2 feet long, 2.5 feet long. I don't know. Not much of a foot guy, unfortunately. More of an ass guy, but hey, to each their own. Yeah, like you probably heard. I don't know if the exhaust leak drowned it out. It is knocking, clattering like a diesel Mercedes or really anything diesel. Unfortunately, it's bottom end related. I have a suspicion that it's probably cylinder 2 that spun a bearing, but it doesn't really matter because it spun a bearing and that sucks. So, what else do I have to show you in here? Oh yeah, this is yeah, it's definitely metal, aluminum. Oh, I just noticed that. That's great. I've been driving this thing very hard and that's not connected. Oh yeah, there you go. That's not connected. That's great. That's fantastic. This is probably held on by like 2 bolts. This being one of them. That's awesome. Oh, I see what happened. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh yeah, there we go. You can actually see that. There you go. That weld kind of broke there. That's awesome. Pod filter. That was there when I bought it. This is not going to be here ultimately with the plans that I have for this car, but it is there. It makes pod filter noises. So you can see it's very dirty. I tried cleaning it, but I'm an idiot, so I kind of messed it up. But whatever. You live and you learn. That's about it. There's really nothing to this engine, or really to this car. I mean, this thing's really old, so like you can't really, like, there's really, like, with a car this old, like there really isn't anything you can do to it from the factory at the time, just because the technologies really just wasn't there. So, you know, that's about it, to be honest. Let's get to the plans. I have some pretty big. So what kind of plans do I have for this thing? Really, it's just gonna be a resurrection. It's gonna look mostly the same, apart from getting rid of all the rust. It's really, like, the goal for this thing is really just to make a very fun, drivable, streetable car that I can drive everywhere and like just have as much fun as possible with. You know, when I first bought this car, like I felt like I wasn't really living enough. You know, even now, I'm 5.5 years later, I'm 26, almost 27. I feel like I haven't really lived enough. So like this thing has like helped me kind of go back to kind of having a good time with life. You know, like the responsibilities just aren't going away. They're stacking up as life kind of does for everybody. So I just kind of want to build this to kind of feel good about myself, kind of feel happy for once, like genuinely happy. So, you know, like I want something that's like really engaging and like fun. Like it's not going to be some crazy like 1,000 horsepower 2JZ or LS whatever. Like this is going to be like maybe like 150 horsepower. That's kind of what I'm gunning for. It's like, I know you can kind of wake, I'll show you here. You can kind of wake these engines up. You can kind of wake these engines up quite a bit, just with some mods. Obviously, I'm gonna throw like a cool looking header in there because they look awesome, and I think it'll probably sound really awesome with a full exhaust that doesn't leak like crazy. Under the hood here, I do want to throw a cam in this. Now, I'm definitely going to be doing the cam. I'm not sure if I want to do a stroker kit. I'm not sure. Like I'll figure that out like eventually. But you know, I'll have to just do more research regarding that. But definitely going to be camming this, so we can actually get some more power out of it. Header, full exhaust, and I do want to throw some ITBs on here, just because A, they look cool, and B, they sound awesome. Now, one of my dream cars is the A86, which this does have quite a few similarities with. Mainly the suspension. It's mostly carryover or like very similar tech for sure. So that's kind of cool. And as you've probably seen, A86 prices are pretty crazy right now. Like a mint condition one would go for like 30-40 grand right now, and that's a lot of money. Especially when you can get one of these for like $2 grand, like I did with this one. I bought this thing for $2,000 in 2020, 5.5 years ago. And just won recently a project which it looks like it has less rust, and it's a GTS, so it has the super rear suspension at the back. Sold for maybe like $1 grand. I was really tempted to buy it, but obviously I have this to keep me occupied, so I kind of went, nope, I'm good. So they are still out there. There's a bit of like an alternative take on like a classic Toyota kind of A86 style experience. If you've been kind of eyeing up an A86 but are like kind of scared about the pricing and like kind of intimidated by it, or it's like, hey man, it's just not worth like 25-30 grand. There you go. 3rd gen Celica, early Celica. yeah, first, second, third gen could be right up your alley. Anyways, so that's about it for the engine. Oh yeah, ITBs do want to do a standalone ECU eventually, so it becomes even more efficient. Standalone ECU, cam, possibly a stroker kit, ITBs, exhaust, full exhaust, and then just modernize this. It's a bunch of vacuum lines, just full modernization of this thing would go a long way. Now, suspension. Suspension's gonna be pretty straightforward. Coilovers at the front, lowering springs at the rear. Mildly stiff sway bars, front and rear. Pretty standard stuff for like a kind of project car, you know, fun sports car thing. Pretty standard. Good thing is, aftermarket parts are available for this, especially for the engine. Like, this thing is like the OG Toyota off-road engine, and that's gonna be good. So that's really good. Can do basically anything with this engine. Suspension-wise, there is just enough. Thanks to T3 Techno Toy Tuning, there is just enough suspension to make my kind of plans happen. I've already bought some mods. So one of them is installed. You can't see it unfortunately from here, but I do have the Panhard rod from T3, which is the bar that goes from this side here down to there, connects the rear end so it doesn't sway back and forth like this. It's like that fifth kind of supporting arm on the 4-link system that it has. It goes up and down. This one goes side to side. You can definitely tell the difference there, night and day. Like there's a sweeping bend that I have to take to really go anywhere here, and you're taking that at like 80k an hour, so pretty high speed, 50 miles an hour. And with the original bar, which I found out had completely blown bushings on both ends, which is great. Not surprising though. You would turn and then it would kind of shimmy, like it would load up, the suspension would load up, and then the rear end would kind of do one of these. Yeah, it would just kind of do like one of these, and it was like it felt really weird, and not fun. So with that new bar, it's solidly mounted, Heim joints. It's so much better. Like there's no like weird kind of kink there. It's just great, awesome. So we're gonna keep going in that direction. Just make it fun, engaging, driver's car, all the cool jargon nowadays. That's kind of the goal for this thing. Basically build something that makes you feel alive. Not a bad base car to do this with either. So that's ultimately the goal for this. And then obviously, finally, we are going to get rid of all this rust, and that's going to be the first thing that we do to this. We're going to be learning how to weld. I've been learning how to weld, but we're going to be learning how to do body work and fix all of this rust. This side's going to be great. Look at that hole. I just noticed that like a few days ago. It's not fun, and that's also not fun, and that's also not fun. So we're gonna be taking a long time. It's gonna take quite a while to deal with this, but it's necessary, unfortunately. can't have a fun car without a car that can kind of exist, right? It's not gonna dissolve every time you get into it. So, but yeah, that's about it. Interior's gonna stay basically the same. Like I kind of already. Oh yeah, this is locked. Whatever. Interior's gonna stay basically the same. Just gonna be cleaning it up. I'm gonna keep the steering wheel. I think I mentioned it. Yeah, like I said in the interior tour, I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep this radio. If like a cool kind of retro radio kind of pops up, I might do that so that it actually works and I can actually Bluetooth my phone to it. Would be nice to listen to synthwave 80s like rock songs, in this thing. That would be a great time for sure. And yeah, just generally clean it up, take it out. Might need a new carpet, but we'll see. We'll cross that road when we get there. We're gonna be, hopefully next episode, we're gonna be tearing into this car, like gutting the interior and really seeing how bad the rust really is. I'm hoping it's not too bad, but there's only one way to find out. Yeah, I think that's about it for me today. Thank you so much for watching. If you probably consider subscribing if you want to see more of me again, figuring this thing out. So I do have an Instagram. I'll link it down below. I'm gonna try and be active on there. Like it's really, like I don't know. For me, it's just always been hard to kind of be active on that stuff. I've tried like some Instagram style content before earlier this year, and I don't know. It just felt weird every time I did it. So I don't know. I might just need to do a different approach. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. See you some other time, hopefully in the near future. Yeah, I'm gonna throw in the driving footage that I captured about a month or so ago at the end of this. And yeah, see ya. Oh yeah, one more thing I should probably mention. So I have no idea what I'm doing. I've never done anything like this before. There's no one really in my life that has done anything like this before. So it's like, for me, it's a full-on like jumping in the deep end kind of situation, which is great. And I have saved up some money, but it's gonna take some time to kind of do stuff, and yeah, it's not gonna be great. But we'll make it through. We'll figure it out. I mean, like thankfully I have the space to do this in, which is a huge plus. And then just take some time to figure stuff out and learn. So we'll figure it out.